Candace Owens just dropped some text messages from Charlie Kirk, and this is interesting, y'all.
Pascal, you are now rocking with that dude Pascal.
What's up? We have been talking about this Charlie Kirk thing, this Candace Owens slowly starting to put out information. Like I said, with Candace Owens, when she gets her sight on something, she does not let go. She does not avert from that at all. And lately, every single episode that she's been doing since the tragic demise of Charlie Kirk, she has been doing nothing but episodes and coverage and deep dive and investigation into the demise of Charlie Kirk. She is still one of those people, like a lot of other people, that are side-eyeing if Tyler Robinson, the man who's locked up right now, if he is actually the person who really pulled the trigger and is the one who actually took the life of Charlie Kirk. Again, like I said, there's a lot of people running amok out here with speculations, tinfoil hat stuff. Literally, some people are spinning right off the planet with their theories nonetheless. So outside of all that, though, Candace Owens has been going ham. And like I said, doing a lot of investigation into this. Now, she really just yesterday leaked some text messages that everybody and their mama is really reacting to. In fact, she was supposed to drop even more bombshells tonight or in her show today. So you never know. I might be doing a follow-up video a little bit later on this evening. But nonetheless, there has been some very interesting things that have been confirmed and has been exposed by her show. So, of course, I want to give credit. But here, of course, we're looking at this article here first. And we're going to be looking at her video, her show, a clip that she puts out where she's showing these text messages. And of course, she's putting in her 2 cents. But here it is, guys. Apparently, he's saying that he was actually getting bullied by Jewish donors because of certain things that he wanted to do on his show, and that there was pushback in regards to that, bringing people onto his show, inviting certain individuals, the likes of Candace Owens. It's very interesting. Well, not only just Candace Owens, I'll just say it, even Tucker Carlson as well. So again, some very, very interesting stuff going on here. And the fact that you got these donors who happen to be Jewish and clearly they're lining your pockets. I guess they feel like they have a place to say in regards to who is a guest on the show. And some believe that the likes of someone like Candace Owens happens to be anti-Semite. That's what some people believe out here. So I can see what would spawn. I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm just saying I could see why it would spawn some donors who happen to be Jewish, why they would actually send him text messages basically saying like, ooh, don't do that, right? And of course he said, apparently he was saying that he was livid about having these particular donors push back on him on the choices that he wants to do on his show, right? Now, let's just get into this. This is very interesting. We got a video we're going to look at here very shortly. This is just some very interesting stuff. So Charlie Kirk furiously criticized the attacks, that he was receiving, for lack of a better term, from Jewish donors, and said he was considering, quote unquote, leaving the pro-Israel cause before his demise. So he was sending these text messages out, and somehow Candace Owens got her hands on these text messages. We don't know how she got these. We don't know if these are authentic or not. There hasn't been any confirmation of that whatsoever. But apparently, these were text messages that he was putting out through a group chat of, I think, 7 other people days before he lost his life. And again, like I said before, there's been a lot of theories about who actually was behind pulling that trigger. Maybe it was. I feel like it was Tyler Robinson, but maybe there's something bigger going on here. Maybe this guy was hired to do this. I don't know, but that is what the theory that is spinning out of control out here in these streets. Okay. But like I said, we'll find out maybe as time goes on. I still think it's just some kid, some jerk, some monster that just felt some type of way, didn't like Charlie Kirk and did what he did. Right. But now, of course, Candace Owens thinks there's something bigger, a bigger entity behind all of this. All right. I leave that question up to you. What do you think? Do you believe the hype? Do you believe the theories? Not hype, but do you believe the theories? Or do you think, or do you think that she's on to something? Okay. Now, again, like I always say about Candace Owens, I believe she's a broken clock that can be right 2 times a day, and maybe she's on to something. And I know she's feeding and fueling a certain demographic, let's just say, a certain corner of the world that believe that there's something bigger going on here. And it's not just Tyler Robinson, that there's something bigger. But like I said, what are your thoughts? But let's continue. The bombshell revelation comes after Candace Owens released a screenshot of Kirk fuming in a group chat that Jewish donors were pulling funding over his links to Tucker Carlson. Turning Point spokesperson Andrew Kolvet confirmed the authenticity of these screenshots today during their latest episode on the Charlie Kirk Show. I gotta hit this dun dun dun. That is massive. That you got other people, other co-hosts, okay, of the Charlie Kirk Show, of Turning Point USA, speaking out and actually confirming that those text messages were indeed authentic. So we got that. We hear that right here. We're hearing it right here first, right? In this text messages, Kirk privately complained that a Jewish donor had withdrawn a $2 million investment into the organization because he refused to disinvite Tucker Carlson from an upcoming AmericaFest event. So it says down here, these are the screenshots. We're going to be seeing this from Candace Owens in the video as well, but we get to see it real quick just by itself. And it says here, just lost another huge Jewish donor, $2 million a year, because we won't cancel Tucker. I'm thinking of inviting Candace instead. I don't mean to add the sentence, but you get what I'm saying. He's like, all right, let me get Candace then. If I can't get Tucker, I'll bring her. F it, right? But moving on. Somebody else responded, because this was a group chat that was going on. Somebody said, ugh. And then he responded again. Jewish donors play into all the stereotypes. I cannot and will not be bullied like this, leaving me no choice but to leave the pro-Israel cause. That's insane. Then he moves on, okay? Please don't, or I guess somebody else responded, okay, in this group. All right. Please don't invite Candace. That might feel good short term, but it's not good long term, in my opinion. Like all groups, you're going to get wide variety of opinions. That nasty free will thing that God bestowed upon us makes life frustrating at times. All right. So I don't know what it says after that, but I'm sure she's going to say a little bit more within the text messages. Okay. But again, this is absolutely crazy if you really think about it. All right. And I know a lot of people out here have been side-eyeing how Erica Kirk has been out here and, doing her shows and doing his shows and all that. And, I don't really have an opinion on it. I think that, if that's her way of processing and moving on, that's her way of processing and moving on. I get the side-eyeing though, but I can see the reason why she has been out here. So continuing on, Owens claims that the screenshots were sent by Kirk 2 days before he was taken out, okay, while speaking to a group of students at UVU, which we already know. Kolvet did not confirm that time frame though. Days after he lost his life, Carlson told his audience that 2 days before his demise, a major donor had pulled money from the organization because Kirk's refusal to disinvite him to this year's AmericaFest conference set for December. Owens has gone viral in the weeks since for floating, they're saying, baseless conspiracy theories about Kirk's demise. Is a vocal critic of Israel and Prime Minister Netanyahu. Now we all know about that, and I'm gonna keep it real with you, okay? We all know how she has been out here, and there's a lot of people that call her anti-Semite and all that because of her stances on things that are going on in Israel and then some. Okay, but again, we already know that Tyler Robinson is the suspect that was arrested and brought in and is looked at as the guy who did this thing. But now, because of these text messages and these things that are being leaked and being put out here, people are saying, oh, maybe not. Maybe it's not. Maybe there's something more to this. Maybe she's on to something. But then again, maybe she's not. Let's take a look at this. Okay, this is a little clip of her showing the text messages, and I kind of moved it back a little bit so we can see a little lead up to the actual text messages. But without further ado, let's take a listen to this.
Is silent when lies are being told by the federal government. That's not a friend. Again, emotionally manipulative. The family can't have you finding out who actually killed him. The family can't have you looking into those things of who was pressuring him behind the scenes. That's not good for the family. Bothers me. I have to be honest with you. That bothers me. I don't even like that to the untrained eye, he's kind of representing himself or representing Charlie as like a current congregant of his church. I feel like a lot this year I have been feeling as though these pastors are just not as honest as they should be, right? Is that the vibe? Like a lot of pastors at Hampton's meeting. Well, you should know, I think most people do, that both his son and his daughter-in-law work for Turning Point USA. So whether you want to represent that or not, they have a financial stake in the future of the company. He heads up the faith division. So Charlie's faith and what direction it was going into would actually matter, right? It would actually matter if Charlie, and I never said he was going to, decided one day to become Catholic. It would have financial implications.
So apparently, this is the other thing, too, that at least that's what she's saying out here, too, is that he was going to convert into Catholicism, become Catholic. And again, you know, this is the information that she's saying. Don't know if that's entirely true, but if it was, I mean, you know, if he was going to do that, that's on him, right? But she's saying that could have been could have had a detrimental reaction to his finances, if that makes any sense, by going and becoming Catholic. It's interesting, but nonetheless, it is a theory that she's been floating out here, at least in this last episode. This was yesterday's episode, by the way, and then she did another one today. So God knows what she dropped today. We'll be talking about that for sure. All right, so keep an eye.
I want to be clear, I never had a conversation that Charlie was in the process of converting, okay? But Rob in particular knew for an absolute fact that Charlie was done with Israel bullying him. That's what bothers me so much about this man. Him allowing these headlines, Charlie's pastor speaks out, you know, crushes Candace because of what she said, not whatever. I don't like it. He knew, and others knew, that Charlie was done with Israel bullying him, and I am now going to present you proof of what I am saying. This is an actual group chat, which happened 2 days before Charlie Kirk was assassinated. There were 9 people in total on this chat, including Charlie and Rob McCoy.
9 people were in this group chat. That's insane. So again, it does make you wonder who leaked these text messages to her. It must have been one of those 9. I mean, that's a lot of people to be, you know, chatting it up with, and that's a lot of people to trust. Let's be real. That's a lot of people to trust information like, yo, I just lost a $2 million. That's a lot of quiche, y'all. That's a whole lot of monies. Lost a $2 million donor solely because I wanted to bring Tucker Carlson onto my show. That's crazy.
I'm going to protect the names of the other 7 for now. To be clear, I might actually release a name every day this week, but I want to show you this because suffice it to say, Rob McCoy was on this text thread, and I think it helps contextualize him as a person, in my view, that he would attack me for telling the truth about the pressure that he was facing. Take a look. So Charlie writes in this group chat, just lost another huge Jewish donor, $2 million a year because we won't cancel Tucker. I'm thinking of inviting Candace. Somebody writes, oh. Charlie writes, Jewish donors play into all of the stereotypes. I cannot and will not be bullied like this, leaving me no choice but to leave the pro-Israel cause.
Now, real quick before we continue, first off, I want to say this. It's his show. He should be able to put on whoever the hell he wants to put on his show. If a donor has a problem with that, they should realize it's a show and that he's going to have a multitude of different people on his show. He's going to have conversations with all kinds of different people from all kinds of walks of life, whether they agree with Charlie Kirk or not. I mean, that's what he built his entire legacy off of. Okay, his whole brand was about debating, putting out here opinions that may oppose to another person's opinion. Again, I just think it's interesting that it's all about freedom of speech. He should have the right to do what he wants, right? You know, just talking about this as if he was still here right now and this was a problem, right? I'd still sit here and go, hey, he should have the right to cover what he wants to cover. He should have the right to conversate about whoever he wants, if he wants to have that. So again, you know, this is the whole freedom of speech situation. And of course, now it's like $2 million lost because he wanted to bring on somebody who also is a prominent voice in the conservative realm. I think that's just ridiculous to just shut him down in this way. I can see him being angry and going, you know what? I'll bring on Candace then. Let's see how they're going to respond to that ish. You know what I'm saying?
And somebody writes, a donor writes, please do not invite Candace. That might feel good short term, but it's not good long term. In my opinion, like all groups, you're going to get a wide variety of opinions. That nasty free will thing that God bestowed on us makes life frustrating at times after the dust settles a bit, maybe. So again, this is 48 hours before Charlie Kirk was assassinated. He was very clear and he was very explicit, and he did not back down, not in that Hamptons meeting, which they're all lying about, nor in this text thread. I'm not going to reveal the names of the other 7. Actually, you know what? I disagree with myself 4 seconds ago. Let's just throw in Josh Hammer for funsies in this chat. Okay.
She messy as hell, man.
So what are we to make of that?
She messy.
Okay, now that I'm showing you this and showing to you that the conversations were real, I want you to reflect, and it took me a lot of patience to allow the lies that were being woven and the misrepresentations of people that were pretending that I was just, high on lying about Charlie and the pressure he was under, the attacks that not just me, Tucker Carlson, Megyn Kelly faced for trying to stand up and tell the truth about what Charlie was actually going through. Why are you hearing it, though, from me and Tucker Carlson and Megyn Kelly? Isn't that weird? You got people that are hosting a show. Have they, in like one honorable thing, come out and said, like, you know what? F a couple of these donors who made his life a living hell over the last couple of weeks. Why haven't they done that? Also a rabbi in that chat. Like, why hasn't anybody made that move to at least say, to vindicate what I have been saying about what he was going through? That registers to me as very suspicious. I'm going to frankly say that it's suspicious to me. It makes me think that in the same way that Charlie was being pressured by money, that you might be now run by that same money, that those same donors might be running you.
Okay, diggity damn. Okay, shots fired. But see, I get it though. I can see what she's the reverse math a little bit. Okay, I can see where she's coming from when it comes to that. Okay, all these people, why aren't they saying anything right now? She's been saying that for a minute though, on countless people. She's been calling out everybody. Okay, I got hits on everybody, right? She's been calling everybody out. So now she's like, okay, now that it's out here and exposed, why aren't you coming out and backing it up? Why aren't you sitting here and backing up the other people that have been saying this out loud? Why is everybody making it look like I'm the crazy one when I'm not the only one who's been echoing these same things? I get where she's coming from, for sure. It's damn.
To correct the ship and to focus yourselves on eulogizing Charlie as something and someone that never once flinched, never once for a single second doubted the Israeli cause.
So here's the thing, guys. You know, when it comes to this is, I'm going to say this. It doesn't confirm any connection to the demise of Charlie Kirk. Let me just make that abundantly clear. It does not confirm any connection to the demise of Charlie Kirk. Yes, it's very interesting that this tragedy happened 2 days after he lost a very big Jewish donor. Yeah, that's massively big. And yes, there can be connections to it. There may be something going on there for sure. Yeah, it's a possibility. You could throw out that speculation, but there is no solid evidence. Now, of course, this is just a snippet from her show. I'm sure she dives in even more. She said she's going to be, throughout the rest of the week, dropping more information throughout the course of her show. So, of course, we'll have to see what else she puts out here. But for right now, at least from what she put out yesterday, yes, it's very interesting. Yes, it shows that there's proof of what she's claimed and what Tucker Carlson, Megyn Kelly have talked about in the past before too, that this is not just some crazy conservative conspiracy theory running around like, someone seeing Tupac, in Hawaii at one time at a local Waffle House. Okay. I would like to see a little bit more information and a little bit more connection to the demise. Because that's the thing. Everyone's wondering if some larger entity had something to do with this. Well, I just want to see where the connection is. This could just be circumstance. This could just be coincidental. It could very well be that. But guys, comment down below. Let me know what your thoughts are. Do you think she's on to something here? Or do you think she's completely off? And this just happens to be a coincidental situation where he was talking about losing large sums of money from Jewish donors, and then he lost his life? Or do you think all of this is connected? All of this has something to do with this, and Tyler Robinson either is a scapegoat, the fall guy, or he really is somebody who is hired by a larger entity to be and do what he did. Comment down below. Let me know what your thoughts are. I'm going to keep an eye on this because she did drop some more information today. So we're going to take a look at that here for show. And if there's something worthy, we will do a video and talk about it as well. So if you appreciate this, please make sure to hit that like button down below. Don't forget to comment. Of course, crush that subscribe button, and we'll be talking here very, very soon. Be good to yourselves. Be good to one another. This is The Pascal Show. Bye.
Pascal, you are now rocking with that dude Pascal. We be going wild.